Happy Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to the John McEntyre Money Show live. Prime time. I'm John McEntyre. And today is Tuesday, October the 22nd, 2024. Yeah, October the 22nd, 2024. Yeah, we're good. All right. This month is flying by. Um, I it is financial planning month, but this particular week found out that it is actually estate planning week. So this week, if you don't do your estate plan, you can't do it any longer. I'm just kidding, but I did find that out. I've noticed a lot of articles and TV segments, everything like that, talking about it is estate planning week. And we all know how important estate planning is. We don't like to talk about it, but it is important. So I just wanted to talk about that before I actually got into the show. We actually have a good show today. I'm going to answer a question about investing, how to invest a windfall. But you know the routine. Before we get into that, we're going to cover a few wallet wins here. And so, first one, very good one. We love to hear this one. Uh, Paid off a credit card from college, an old credit card from college. So yeah, it probably had accumulated quite a bit. It's probably more owed in interest than actual principal now. Whenever they say the word old, when someone said, yeah, it's old debt or something like that, yeah, it's probably quite a bit. That's wallet win number one. Wallet win number two. Um, I was playing Find the Money and refinanced, paid off a car loan and refinanced another one of my other cars, and so that has lowered my payments over $200 per month. So that is a good wallet win to put that 200 somewhere. We'll put that extra 200 towards paying off that car. I guess that's what you would do. Or if there's other credit card debt, always pay that off before car loans. Car loan, what? Credit card debt first, then consumer loans like the cars, things like that. Get all of that paid off. Then you can work on the mortgage if you choose to pay the house off at a particular time. So that is a good wallet win there. And this is actually an estate planning wallet win. I set up a living will and my healthcare power of attorney. So yes, that is a wallet win. Those are the type of wallet wins you really don't know the value of them until something maybe happens. Uh, I know last week was it? Yes, it was last week. One of the Medicare shows. I covered that um, a sibling, spouse, daughter, son, whatever, cannot assist you with enrolling in a Medicare plan unless they have power of attorney. They cannot speak for you. You have to do it, the beneficiary. And this is one of those instances that power of attorney comes into play with this. So if you're going to be making decisions for someone else, they're trusting for you to make decisions for them in case they can't make the decision themselves. Power of attorney comes into play. Um, we all know how important the will is. So we have the three good wallet wins here. Now let's get into this actual question. Um, I received a big windfall, and after paying off my consumer debt and setting aside 6 months of living expenses, I want to invest the rest. I think it's 24,000. 24,000. Should I? And the question is, should I invest in one lump sum or do dollar cost averaging? And that is a good question. Um, the short answer is it really doesn't matter. That's the short answer. But we have to I have to explain it. So I'm going to explain it. It is a tiny difference that the lump sum would win out if you actually are able to do the lump sum. I would just say do the lump sum in a particular situation. Say, for instance, you're already investing and everything like this, or you've taken care of the other areas of your financial picture and you have discipline in place. then put the lump sum. If you need to work on uh, discipline, if it just needs to become something that you just do, then uh, maybe the dollar cost average is the way to go. Um, and let's see, most people confuse dollar cost averaging with periodic investing. Periodic investing is if you're having the 10 or 15% taken out of your check each month. That's periodic investing. Dollar cost averaging is if you receive like this lump sum, and instead of putting the 24,000 in one lump sum, you decide to break it up into $2,000 blocks and do it each month, just to have it going in. So now you see where the discipline would come into play if you wanted to actually build a discipline. Um, that's the difference between dollar cost averaging and periodic investing. Sometimes they're used interchangeably, but they are sort of different. Uh, it really doesn't matter. The reason why I say it really doesn't matter if you did the lump sum, even though I would lean towards the lump sum if possible, is because over a 20-year period, the lump sum has outperformed dollar cost averaging 70% of the time, not by 70%, just 70% of the time. So 30% of the time, the actual dollar cost averaging won. And that was because it depended on what the market was doing at the particular time the money went in. But the actual performance on an average, it was only like 0.25% per year anyway over a 20-year period, which adds up to roughly 4%. So the lump sum beat dollar cost averaging by 4% over a 20-year period. Now, if every dollar matters to you, then that's important. 4%, 0.25, the fees are probably taking that. So that's where it all goes. And the reason why I say I'm leaning towards lump sum is because the market, we know what the market does on a daily basis. What I do know is that you can't predict what it's going to do on a daily basis. It may be up, it may be down. The reason why I say the lump sum is because if you put it in, maybe you put it in at a particular time when it's up, it's on its way up. So if you put 24,000 in when it's on its way up, that's better than putting $2,000 in when it's on its way up. That's why I say the lump sum would win out if possible. That's not always the case, but as far as the stats go, 70% of the time, you probably would have a good chance of it on its way up when you put that lump in. So that's why I say, we're leaning towards the lumps, the lump sum. Either is fine, like I say, and whichever one makes you comfortable. The main thing is that you're in the market. That's the main thing. All of this stuff goes out the window if you're not in the market. So that's where I end it, is pretty much answering the question. Go back to the beginning. Am I disciplined? Um, do I want to build that discipline? Because this is a lump sum that I'm putting into the market. It shouldn't be the last that you're putting into the market. So if you wanted to start the process of building some discipline, there's many ways you could do it. You could just do 12,000 lump, put it in, and then say, now over the next 12 months, I'm going to do $2,000. And then after that, whatever I have to keep putting in there, it may be 2,000, it may not be 2,000, whatever you choose to put in. Unless you have, you're already investing, with the periodic, you're already having something taken out of your paycheck. But in this particular situation, I doubt it because they had debt and everything like this. So I'm going to lean towards assuming that they were not investing before this. And so it may be good to start that process of building that in that discipline muscle, because that's what really wins, is discipline. You can't predict the market. It's up today, down tomorrow. Uh, Especially now, I'm glad that this question is being asked now, also because with it being an election year, and it's always, the question always goes up: Is it a good time to buy a house? Is it a good time to do anything in real estate? And how will the election affect my investments? And the answer is we don't know. What I do know is it's not a good time to pull money out of the market. There's never really a good time to do that, you know. Uh, so don't allow a short, a short blip in the on the calendar cause you to make to make a decision that could affect you or cause you to lose a couple of big days behind this, because the market doesn't always go down after the election. It doesn't always do that. And this past pandemic has shown you don't know what the market is going to do. It just responds. Uh, the market history history was showing that the market would go down in certain periods of time. Certain periods of time, it always does that, but certain happenings, instances in history, whereas it happened this time and the market actually went up. And right now, people may not believe it, the market is at a historical high. It is at an historical high, and so it would be a a good it wouldn't be a good time to start pulling money or start doing anything that you normally wouldn't do. That's reacting emotionally, and the market will definitely eat you alive if you react emotionally, because that's really what the market is. It's operating off the emotions of greed and fear, you know, and following the great investors. Warren Buffett says you should be greedy when everyone's afraid, and you should be afraid when everyone's greedy. And so, um, if you feel in fear, might not be the time to make a decision. If you're feeling greedy, may not be a good time to make a decision. If your emotions are all over the place, just hold. Best thing to do is just hold tight if you have time, because time will correct things anyway. So that's my answer for it. This was going to be a short program, because once I saw the question, I was like, okay, we can answer this. But I did want to throw those points in, and that takes me to the question of the day, which is, how would you invest a windfall in the market? Would you do dollar cost averaging, or would you do lump sum? It's a personal question. It's personal preference. Those types of things that come, the types of things that comes into play is your risk aversion, all of this. One person will say, I'm going all in. Another person say, no, I think I'll do a little bit at a time. I feel more comfortable doing it that way. So it's just a personal preference. There is no right or wrong answer. The right thing is you are in the market. You're not missing those days, because especially with over a 20-year stretch, some people that were pulling their money in and out of the market, what caused them to take the big losses was a couple of those. It was only like a few days. It was like 3 or 4 days of like real highs that they missed, like where the bulk of the money was made. And then they jumped back in, and it was like 2 or 3 days of going extremely low. They lost money. It scared them. They pulled the money out. So they took a double loss. So that's why you want to keep it in there and just let it be. So with that being said, I hope I answered the question. I hope I shared some good information here. And if I did, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it, like Facebook channel, and share it. Um, I welcome your wallet wins, welcome your questions, your comments. Um, and with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channels. Have a good evening.